Okay, so we're doing the 2.3 practice, and I'm going to do some of the problems with you, and then other ones I want you to do on your own. All right, so like on let's do number 2. So on number 2, we want to get the r by itself. So right now it says r divided by 5 is less than or equal to 2. So I'm just going to rewrite this real quick because I don't have room to really teach there. All right, so I'm going to multiply by 5 because that's the opposite here, so that cancels out. So I'm left with r, so I have to multiply on the other side by the same thing. So 2 times 5 is 10. So I have r is less than or equal to 10. Okay, and I multiplied because of doing the opposite right there. So I'm going to do a closed circle at 10, and my arrow is going to go to the left, to the less than direction. Closed circle because it says less than or equal to, like that. All right, and then number 3, we want to get the h all by itself. So we are going to divide by 1.6. Divide by 1.6. So I need to use my calculator. So I'm going to do negative 32 divided by, divided by 1.6. And so that's going to give me negative 20 when I do that. So I have negative 20 on the left, bring down my greater than, then that the 1.6 cancels out. Now I can't leave the h on the right, so I have to switch it around, right? So my final answer here is h is less than negative 20. Okay? So I'm going to put a open circle at negative 20, and I'm going to go in the less than direction, which is to the left. Okay? So number 1 is just like number 3, and then number 2 is just like number 4. All right? Same thing with number 5. Number 5 is also like number 1 and 3. And so then let's look at number 6. So number 6, we're trying to get x by itself. So we're going to divide by 3. So we're going to go negative 3 over 2 divided by 3. So my calculator, I'll do negative 3 over 2, and I'll hit the right arrow, and then I'll say divided by negative 3 over 2 divided by 3, and so that's going to give me negative 0.5. Right, so it's going to be negative 0.5 is less than x. Now I can't leave it that way, so I have to flip it around. So x is greater than negative 0.5. Okay, and then I will switch, not switch, but I will plot that on my number line. So I'm going to do an open circle at negative 0.5, and then my arrow goes in the greater than direction, which is here to the right. Okay, so let's see. If we look at, do you want me to do 8 or 9?
9.
All right, let's look at number 9. Now what are we trying to get by itself? That g, right? So I'm going to rewrite this real quick so I have room to teach. So I need to multiply by negative 3.2. I need to multiply by negative 3.2. I had a little glitch there for a second. And then I would have to do the same thing on the other side. Okay. So on the right side, that's going to cancel out. So I'll have G. But because I multiplied by a negative, this has to flip directions. And then 4 times negative 3.2. 4 times negative 3.2. And that is, yes, negative 12.8. Negative 12.8. And that's it. I don't have to flip anything else. All right, so I'm going to put an open circle at negative 12.8. And my arrow goes in the less than direction, which is to the right. Okay, so we've already done ones like 10, 11, and 12. If you have any questions on those, let me know though. So if we look at number 13, on this one, 5 times a number is not less than 15. So on this one, you have to write the inequality, then solve it. So that's why there's 2 blanks. All right, so 5 times a number is not less than 15. So what sign is not less than? Greater than. And I don't know if it's greater than or equal to, but I think I accept either one. So 5 times a number, that means 5x. 5 times a number, because a number next to a letter means 5 times a number, is not less than 15. So that's what would go in the first box. 5 times a number is not less than 15. All right, then I need to solve that. So I'll divide by 5. So x is going to be greater than or equal to 3. Okay? Okay. Now number 14, the quotient of a number and negative 4 is less than negative 1. So quotient is the answer to a division problem. So the quotient of a number, so that's going to be like x and negative 4. So the and is telling me what the other number is. So the quotient of x and negative 4, in other words, if you take the x, which is the number, divided by negative 4, is less than negative 1. There's no special less than or equal to or anything like that. The quotient of a number and negative 4 is less than negative 1.
Okay, so what I put in the first box?
This. So this goes in the first box. So then you have to solve it, which I'm not going to do. You have to solve it. So we've already practiced this. This is not notes. This is a practice assignment. So that goes in the first box, and then I want you to solve that on your own. Okay, so try to finish that up on your own. All right, so number 15, an SUV travels 16.5 miles per gallon of gas. The maximum number of miles that the SUV can travel on one tank of gas is 363 miles. Write and solve an inequality that represents the possible numbers of gallons of gas in the SUV's gas tank. So an SUV travels 16.4 miles per gallon. So that's like 16.5 G or 16.5X, one of those. Now, the maximum number is 363 miles. So could it go greater than or equal to that, or less than or equal to 363? Less than. So the 16.5 gallons is going to be less than 363. So 16.5 times the gallons is less than or equal to 363. So that's the first blank, and then you have to finish solving that to get that done. Okay, last one, and I'm not going to do all this for you. You are creating a decorative rope that is at least 20 feet long. So that's a key word there, at least. At least. You use 6-inch beads to create the rope. Write and solve an inequality that represents the number of beads that you can use. Okay. Now, this is using feet, but this is using inches. So we have a problem. So we're going to have to fix that so that they're using the same thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our 6 inches, okay, and change that to 0.5 feet, because 6 inches is half of a foot, okay? So you have an equation. You have to write your equation, right? And then you have to solve it. And you put your solution over here in this one. Now, write and solve an inequality that represents the number of beads that you can use.
40.
So we're going to do 0.5 times the number of beads is less than or equal to 20, like that. Okay? So this is for the first box. Now, it's not, so we're going to divide by 0.5, divide by 0.5 over here. So x is less than or equal to 40. Now, it's not exactly 40. It's less than or equal to 40. So in your final answer, you're going to have to put this whole thing. X is less than or equal to 40 beads.
Beads.
Mm-hmm.
I got to type out.
Because, yeah, I know 5 letters is really difficult, but I believe in you, McCoy. You can do that.
They said it was wrong.
Okay, so you do not have enough 6-inch beads to make the rope, so you can use 10-inch beads instead. Write and solve an inequality that represents the numbers of 10-inch beads that you can use. Now, basically, it's going to be the exact same thing that we did right there, right? So this was the equation that should go in the box. 0.5x is less than or equal to 20. So now, what you're going to do is, instead of it equal to using a 6-inch bead, it's a 10-inch bead. So 10 inches is, right, that's 10 over 12. So it is 5/8 feet. 5/8 feet. So that is, so 5 divided by 8. That is 0.625. Right, so we're going to go 5/8 feet is less than or equal to the 20. "20 feet long." Okay. Okay, so to solve that, we have to multiply by the reciprocal. Do the same thing over here. So I want you to try to finish that all by yourself. Okay? I believe in you. You can do this. Okay? And if you get stuck or something, I will help you out, but I want you to try to finish that on your own. So this original problem, that goes in the first blank. That goes in the first box. Then you have to solve it to get what goes in that one. Okay, I'm going to erase that. Okay, that's all I have to say about that.